So Donald Trump is expanding his attacks on America, and I want to give you the latest as there's more details coming out. So first, this is at an ICE facility. It says Broadview, Illinois, so near Chicago. And it appears that the guy in the white shirt there might be stunned, pepper sprayed, something like that. And then his friend goes to check on him, and then suddenly all of these ICE people start tackling him. You can see it right there. Then you got this one guy doing like a long range pepper spray stuff. You see that guy there? And it was like, what the heck is this stuff? Some of these people appear to be in full tactical gear. Other people be it jeans or cargo pants or whatever. And then there's now they're throwing gas canisters around. Essentially what's going on is Trump is sending his ICE people to Portland and Chicago recently, and he's talking about more cities. Also on Tuesday, you have a couple things, possible government shutdown. And you have Trump calling the top military generals and admirals from all around the world to come meet in one place in Virginia. And effectively what I think is going to happen, they're going to try to fire as many people as possible, be it both in the federal government and the military, maybe doing loyalty tests or something. That's what it looks like. On top of that, look at Chicago, and I just want to put all this stuff together, just the crazy buffoonery that's happening. This is Chicago ICE agents. Watch this.
Get him! Watch out! Watch out!
Isn't that crazy? It says here, earlier today, ICE agents chased after a man in downtown Chicago after he made a verbal comments but no physical or threatening contact. The man was able to get away. What? It's just so strange. And then I guess you have all of these sort of ICE patrol people running around Chicago at the moment, downtown. And I want to put this all together because I think what Trump is trying to do, he wants to get people, in my opinion, he wants to get people used to seeing his ICE people on the streets. Like, so first he's like, okay, we want this to be regular part of daily life to militarize everything. And then as, people get theoretically used to said things, then he'll start controlling more and more power, sending his agents to various government buildings. I think that's what's going on, in my opinion. Also what's happening today, this is just a few hours ago, there was a shooting in Michigan, 4 dead, 8 injured. That's at a church. This was the shooter here. I mean, it's just coming out now, and I'll just say this: the violence in the USA is getting worse. So you have the combination of Trump's ICE agents instigating stuff, plus you have just shootings around the country, and then you also had the Charlie Kirk shooting. You guys know, and the thing is, from just a logical perspective, the Kirk thing was in Utah. This church, the other thing is in Michigan. I mean, theoretically, shouldn't Trump be securing those areas theoretically? But no, he's going to Portland and Chicago. I don't justify any of the stuff that Trump is doing. I'm just saying, like, one way you could look at it is like, why wouldn't you just send the military to Utah? Governor Pritzker, so this would be in Illinois and Chicago, says the Trump administration DHS officers appear to be carrying large weapons around downtown Chicago in camouflage and masks. This is not making anybody safer. It's a show of intimidation, instilling fear in our communities and hurting our businesses. And this is Portland. I'm just showing you guys all of it because it's expanding everywhere. So basically there's like protesters outside an ICE building here. And basically what's going on, the chants from people in Portland are like, ICE, get out of here. ICE, why are you in riot gear? ICE, why are you wearing masks? Right? These are all the questions that people are asking. And then I told you guys before, Trump's threatening to fire people. This was on NBC just a few minutes ago. Trump threatens mass firings of federal workers if government shutdown isn't averted, right? So again, that's Tuesday night. I think it's midnight. And the same day he's calling in the military generals. I mean, these things have to be connected. I don't think it's random timing. This is a quote from Trump. We're going to cut a lot of people that we're able to cut on a permanent basis. So I guess he told this to NBC just a few minutes ago. I'd rather not do that, blah, blah, blah. And then they're doubling down on warnings that thousands of government jobs could be on the line if the government shuts down midnight on Tuesday. So that's from Trump. I want to recommend the movies. I know I recommend these things all the time, but if you haven't seen it, please do. They're Korean movies. One is called 12 Today. It's about a military coup, and basically these are historical movies, so this stuff happened, and just get a sense of like how this game is played if Trump indeed tries to pull this kind of shenanigans, which is what it looks like. It looks like, again, he's trying to do some sort of purge in the military. That's how I see what that general meeting thing. And then he's already putting troops on the street to get ready for that government shutdown. I mean, I think that's what's going on. I also want to mention the movie 1987. I always recommend this one. Again, these are Korean movies, but just learn from the past, right? And this one's basically about the intro is the government's telling this crazy, basically lies. And then people start to figure out, okay, what is going on, and should I pay attention to this stuff? Does it actually affect my real life? And ultimately, right, people did rise up and fight for democracy, which matters. And essentially, what I feel like we're doing every day is talking to Americans and be like, hey, pay attention to this stuff because Trump is eroding your freedom. I mean, you can literally see it. Do you want just troops walking around the streets? I made videos about this before on the channel. You can find these, just search Yoon on my channel or Korea, you'll find them all. Basically, the former president in Korea, President Yoon, tried to do a martial law kind of thing. So basically, military comes in, takes over whatever office is, and then say, okay, freedom is suspended. That's essentially what I think Trump is trying to do, that kind of thing. And if you listen to the language of the White House today, this is from Homeland Security, you'll get a sense of sort of who these people are. So let's listen to here.
This horrendous attack must serve as a wake-up call to the far-left media pundits and politicians demonizing our ICE law enforcement. Comparing ICE officers day in and day out to the Nazi Gestapo, the secret police, and the slave patrols has real-life consequences. President Trump and Secretary Noem continue to stand with the men and the women of ICE, and we will go to the ends of the earth to protect them. I can assure you that if you lay a hand on law enforcement, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
So just think about what they're doing here, right? So that's the Trump people. They just put this out just a couple hours ago, and it's gotten to such a bad state that they have to put out messages that saying, hey, we're not Nazi Gestapo. Hey, we're not what they talk about slave stuff, or hey, we're not secret police. But it's like, things are bad when you have to make a video saying that you're not said things. And this is also put it in context of this is what we're seeing around town. Do you see how this game is played? But that's not a conversation that we should even be having in USA. However, look at daily life right now in Chicago. Look at this. These are just a bunch of masked guys walking around Chicago. And like I said, I think, and when my wife saw it first, she says, like, this is like a bunch of bullies walking around, right? And when you notice, again, they're masks. This group appears to be in full tactical gear. So the other one I showed the facility where, there's going to be different groups in ICE. Maybe some are part-time, maybe some are full-time. I don't know. One guy there seems pretty overweight. I'll just be frank with you guys. So not in great shape. And that sort of relates to the, the situation where they couldn't run down said guy. There's going to be different groups involved with this stuff. So, for example, Trump's going to try to take over National Guards in various states. That's what it looks like to me. So he's got his ICE people, right, just one group. Then you got National Guards in various states. And Oregon's already suing Trump to be like, you can't, touch those forces. You also just have people just basically yelling on the street at various ICE agents, which I completely understand. Just listen to a bit of this.
ICE, go home! ICE, go home! ICE, go home! ICE, go home!
Right, telling ICE to go home, of course. And that's the question I posed to you is like, is that the world we want to live in, to where you got these masked guys just run around the street like this? I mean, you can see it. And then if there's someone that they don't like, they'll just run over there and try to arrest that person. And then the other problem with this stuff, with all this mass stuff, is that they're incentivized to arrest people because eventually, like kind of what's what I would say, it's like a bounty system kind of thing. You get bonuses if you arrest so many people or meet your quotas. That's been reported before. That's Chicago there. This is Oregon, a governor basically saying we don't need the troops. Listen to this.
Hello, Oregon. Governor Kotek here. Contrary to President Trump's latest social media post, Portland is not war-ravaged. There's no insurrection, there's no threat to national security, and there's no need for military troops. Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies. And that's exactly what I said to the president when I asked him to stand down from sending federal troops into our city. But just in case that phone call wasn't enough, I thought I would take to the streets myself right here in downtown Portland. I'm standing just blocks away from the waterfront, overlooking the beautiful Willamette River. Portland City Hall, the federal courthouse, and dozens of shops and restaurants here in the central city. We do have challenges here in Portland, in Oregon, and across the country. The cost of living is too high, we need to build more housing that people can afford, and we need to always work on having the best schools possible. So let's keep the focus on the real problems, not the made-up ones.
And I really like what she had to say there. And it took me a while to actually make this video because I was a bit upset earlier today, and I'm just telling you the truth and stuff. Because I'm from Oregon. This is now, my hometown, Portland, and essentially Trump's sticking the military on it, right? And it's interesting when I see other people from Portland also the same things that I say all the time. I guess because we're all from the same place. We're like, the things I'm mostly concerned about is how can we make affordable housing? How can we get better schools? How can we help regular people? And Trump all the time and his people are always like, we're going to arrest you. And, they can see we're going to spray pepper spray from, 10 meters away or whatever. I mean, it's just the way that they behave. And this is sort of why I always present this stuff in this way for you guys to make up your own mind on who do you trust more? Do you trust the Trumpers who are always, screaming fight, 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 and they're always calling names? Oh, we got to go arrest all those other people. Or do you trust the people that are like, hey, look at this, we're a peaceful city. Why are you guys all masked in riot gear? And I think for me that the choice is obvious. I'm not going to be trusting just mass goons around, kidnapping people with no due process. And then you look at like how Trump people want to shackle the cities, the workers at the Hyundai plant. It becomes very clear. And I say this thing over and over again for those of you who work in the government now or in the military. Do not follow illegal orders, and don't look at your fellow human beings as being your enemy. And that's what Trump wants. They want essentially the worker level people to just fight each other and look the other way when Trump does all of his scams and laundering. Right now, I mean, this is real money here. Trump's talking about bailing out Argentina. We're talking about $20 billion kind of thing, right? Or Trump's trying to extort cash from Korea, and Trump's trying to do all his crypto scams, this kind of thing. And then on top of that, right, try to shut down the government and then send all of his, military people to probably key points in various cities. That's what it looks like to me, and try to take control of everything. So it's all happening very, very quickly this week. This Tuesday is important. I'll keep you guys updated if there's anything else, and I'll catch you on the next video.